85% of America, not men, 85% of America is in debt, which means 85 out of 100 people you walk into got financial issues. So don't look at us like we got to be that 15% who's not.
Okay.
2, understand what role economics play. My mother told me about credit without ever telling me about credit. She said, always protect your credit, always get a good job, do this. But I didn't know nothing about credit. I know nothing about Equifax and all that other kind of stuff. So I messed up my credit in college. Tore it up. They giving me credit cards. I was using it up. Next thing you know, I get with my wife and she said, what's your credit score? I'm like, credit score? And she was like, order it. And then I'm like, who are these people? How they got all my information? And what's this score they got attached to my name? She was like, baby, we have to clean this up. So when I met my wife, my credit score was a 329.
Oh, I have never heard
Check
that.
that. But like I said, you're dealing with a brother who was told take care of your credit, but I never knew what it was. I didn't know people report. I know people wasn't told on you, like you to pay your bill. They're like, yo, this dude don't pay none of his bills. You need to write that down, make sure he can't get no credit ever. And when I got with her, she's like, she knew what kind of person I was. And she was like, you have no idea about this. I'm like, no. And what she didn't do was hold it against me because I've already said never marry a man with bad credit. But the amendment to that should be you clean it up first and then you marry. Because that was in 2004 when we met. In 2006 when we moved out here, my high score was a 730.
There you go. So now that's a woman.
Yeah, so if she had got rid of me based on that, she would have got rid of a good man who was about his business who just didn't know about it. So what happens is you act like men have an economic mind. We don't. But we're supposed to be economic. Sometimes you have to say, listen, baby, this is what I need from you, and this is how you can do this in a realistic term, and I'm going to supplement, or we're going to put it together. But we have to have that understanding. 2, you can't kick us when we're down. Because the last thing a poor person want to hear every day is you're poor. Or a no good person, you're no good, even if you are no good. And so if you really care about me being no good, teach me how to be better. If you really care about my economic status, teach me how to improve it. Because if you're so economically savvy, how come you're so busy telling me what I don't have instead of teaching me how to get what I need?
Well.
So that's what men want. And then men want also to have the understanding that we're not pack mules and that you have a double standard for us. Like a man who cries is weak, but studies show that men live shorter lives than women because we internalize our emotions, and they're actually doing studies where they find out that that actually deteriorates our organs and our ability to sustain ourselves. So me not crying in front of you is killing me.
Wow.
For every time we don't cry, we take days, sometimes years off our lives. So then also, since pressure in pipes, right? If you cover up a pipe on both ends as pressure, it's going to explode. And whoever's holding is going with it. So what happens is a lot of times women, you are the 2 hands at the end of that pipe. And you're telling this dude, like, listen, you got to be calm under everything. You can't show an emotion. You got to be stoic on certain levels, except when me, you show your emotions. And then when you explode, like, what happened? It's like, listen, I haven't had an outlet emotionally, a safe one, for the last 10 years. And then when I explode, you ask me, what's the matter with me?
Wow.
Okay.
You can't do that.
That's
so
deep.
That's why women live longer, because we cry easier.
We cry easy, you express your emotions, but studies show that holding in your emotions has a physical ailment response to your body. It deteriorates your liver, your organs, I mean everything. I mean, and dude's like, well, I don't cry. I'm like, dude, you have tear ducts. What do you think they're for, a show? I'm just like, it's like this. Teachers have high occurrences of urinary tract infections because you can't go to the bathroom while you're teaching. Same thing that happens to men. If you deny your naturally bodily functions, it will fight you. You either let your body go or your body will attack you. Period.
That's true.
So sex is a man's tear. I mean, I'm not meaning this in a funny way. They release themselves the way we do with tears. Sexually, they need that to add the years onto their life. Because I found out that they would, as far as living longer, the sexual aspect, they live longer because that's the way they release.
Well, actually, it's both. We need that, but even a man who is active sexually, if you're not active emotionally, you're still going to die early.
That's true,
Okay,
because
there
that's
you
two
go.
different things.
Well,
So
don't they say
emotional
married
and
men live
emotional.
longer anyway?
Yeah,
so
married men live longer.
you get both components.
You get both.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one thing about marriage. That is that's an unrestricted right everywhere. So But, and the thing about it, men are not that
That's your
complex. Men are not that complex. If you give up,
You know, that's interesting you say that. I have male friends, and one of my girlfriends, she's married. She and I met her husband together, so I've known him forever, just as she has. And he always tells me, Terry, men are not that complicated. We're easy. And I'm just like, I don't think so.
understand that most of the dancing men do is to fit in your idea of Prince Charming.
That word you used.
For real.
Interesting.
I did an article with my friends, all of them degreed, all of them like good men who I would, like if I had a sister or somebody, if I had a daughter and they were younger, I would lay them my sister or my daughter. All of them, my boy said he called us pack mules. He said, and what we do is we allow women to pack stuff on top of us. And then it's like, it gets to a point where the straw that broke the camel back. That's a real thing. You could put straw on an animal and it'll get to a point where if you put one more piece of straw on it, it will crush it. That one piece of straw. So what happens is, just like you don't see the straw breaking the camel's back, you're like, what happened? It's only a piece of straw. Same thing that happens with us. We become pack mules. I told men, I said, we will never have our place in the world until real men stop taking responsibility for what they didn't do. I don't take responsibility for anything some young boy in a grown man's body did. I didn't do it to you, don't come to me with it. What I'm here for is I love you, I'm with you to help you heal, and I'm with help you find your way through it. But if anytime you want me to pay his bills, you need to go see him. I don't pay another man's bills.
So we probably get into relationships too soon. Then sometimes that's why we carry that stuff into other relationships.
And you bring bills from other men saying, baby, you need to pay this, because this dude did to me, he looked just like you. And the dude is like, wow. But does that work for you too? This girl broke my heart, took my car. I need some new rims, just like those. You look at him like, I didn't touch your car.
This is really interesting because I think we do that and we're not conscious of it. We come with all this other stuff, and sometimes the brother is just telling me what he's telling me.
And you got to understand how men view you. And this is part of the game.
Yeah, how do they view us?
Men view you as the prize.
Oh, okay.
So, check this out. Look at sports. How do they teach boys to win in sports? You don't cry. You never show weakness. You never let your enemy know what you're thinking. All this other kind of stuff. It's all war and adversarial. You fight. And if anybody calls you weak, it's just because they're too weak for the game and they're trying to get over on you, you ignore them. Once we hit 21, you become the adversaries. Because we want to get you, we want to get all of this stuff, and you're telling us you need to feel. You need to have emotion. It's like up to 21, y'all don't even require me to spell emotion. Y'all don't require me to have emotion. If I got beat up and didn't cry, y'all be like, that's my little man. And now I don't cry around you, be like, you are an ogre of a human being. And it's like, how is it at 21, everything that was cool and appealing to you in me is now everything that you despise?
Boy, we do.
So what happens is you can't take a person for 21 years and tell them not to use their emotions, and then at 21 tell them you got to turn it on. You have to nurture that. Yeah, you have to keep it going. So what happens is you have to start building a balance, because men are totally confused. And because we want you and we will go out of our way to get you, when you start setting up unrealistic demands, we start giving you unrealistic outcomes. It's a saying, if you can get people to believe absurdities, you can get them to carry out atrocities. So if you get a man who wants you bad enough to kill for you, you say the only way you can do it is if you knock off my boyfriend, your boyfriend will disappear. And when he asks, simply because she wanted me to.
And biblically, that has happened.
All the time. Great wars have been fought over some dude who wanted a woman that he couldn't get. And think about this. If a brother will send 100,000 men to die just so he could be next to you, don't you think he will do everything below that?